Welcome, listeners. This is the one about breaking bad habits. So what is a bad habit? Well, a bad habit can be something that you just like doing, but feel that you shouldn't. Maybe it's causing some pain in your life, some anguish, or causing things you don't want, but you like doing it. And maybe it's something that doesn't bother you that much, so you don't feel that you want to change it. You know it's a bad habit, but you just don't want to do anything about it. And maybe you want to stop it, but you just don't know how to get the willpower to do it. So any of these things might be what's going through your mind if you're trying to break a bad habit. So the first thing is you have to decide what the consequences are of continuing the bad habit. Look at the pluses and the minuses. You have to look at it logically, because your brain is not going to allow yourself to make changes unless you have a reason to make the change. So take a piece of paper out, draw a line down the middle, and then on one side, put all the benefits of changing the habit. What will happen in your life if you change the habit? What will the effect be? What will the ramifications be? To your job, to your personal life, whatever the habit is, to your body. So on the other side, you would put the reasons for keeping the habit. Now, you might say, well, I'm trying to break a habit. Why keep it? Well, you have to look at the benefits of losing it and keeping it to be able to make an intelligent decision of whether to break the habit. So once you do that and you see the benefits outweigh, and hopefully they will, the benefits outweigh whatever you're getting from the bad habit. And there's so many things that could be a bad habit, so it's just too general to categorize. But it takes 21 days of repetitive behavior to make something a habit, a positive something in your mind. And so to make a change is going to require a lot of work on your part, and doing the opposite of what you're doing, or whatever the change is going to be, in a repetitive manner, continuously for 21 days at least, till it becomes habit. So let's look at the type of things. If a habit is being late, obviously there are positive changes. Maybe you don't know how to break that. If the habit is eating bad foods, maybe you just enjoy the bad foods. So there's so much involved in looking at two sides of a habit. A habit could be the way you treat people, and all the benefits would be how people would see you after you make that change. So it's hard to generalize without taking some specific examples. So let's take, you want to make a change in your weight, in your body, in your health. So you write down the benefits. You'll have more energy. You'll be able to sleep better. You know, the benefits are easy. But then on the other side, you like the foods you eat. You like your lifestyle. You like what you do. You don't like exercising. So that's on the other side of the habit that you're trying to break. So in this case, you have to look for solutions. You might want to look for solutions to help you get over that hump. Well, if it's eating foods, try to find foods that'll substitute, that'll taste great, but be healthier. There are foods out there that will. I had a session on that before. You can refer to that. But once you make those substitutions of healthier foods that you might like, or if you take the suggestion I made in that episode and just take a bite of the unhealthy food, train yourself to be able to be happy with just a taste, put the rest back in the refrigerator for another day. But once you allow yourself to make that change, you can start on the road to a healthier lifestyle. So there are solutions if you're motivated enough to do it. If you think exercise would be good in your life, but you don't know how to fit it in, but you want to make a change, and that's the first thing. You've got to want to make a change. If you don't want to make a change, you're not going to change. Nothing's going to happen. Forget this episode. It's just nothing can change. But if you want to change, and let's say it's exercise, so find a way to exercise where you are. At a business desk, there are chairs that are made to have you sit a certain way so you can exercise and have certain posture while you work. And if you're working at home, You can do work on an exercise bike with a stand that allows you to put the paperwork on the stand if you're reading or talking to people. Wear headphones. There are ways to exercise while you're doing other things to make it easy for you if you don't have time to go to the gym. So you have to first identify what the benefits are in changing and whether you want to make the change. And if you do desire to make the change, then you can. I want to read something that I thought might be pertinent, might be helpful, in terms of your mind. So the connection between mental well-being and practice such as gratitude, mindfulness, and hope go beyond just feeling good. Positive practices change the way your brain works. Every thought you have releases chemicals to your brain, and those chemicals have either a positive or negative effect on both your physical and mental state. Learning optimism, gratitude, and other practices for developing positive emotions won't change the world around you, but it can change how you respond to it. So the key here is to put these ideas in your brain that you can make a change. Be thankful for all the good things in your life. Showing gratitude is very important to a mental state. Get your mind prepared so that you have a positive attitude towards making the change and that you desire to do it. It has to be in your mind first before it can ever be a practice in your life. So there are other changes. Suppose you have a bad habit of some health habit, whatever it is, whether it's picking at your nails, picking your nose, I don't know, whatever your health habit is that you want to change, first desire to change it, and then make up your mind you're going to stay away from it. So you can put, I've seen people that bite their nails and they don't want to. So they put something that tastes awful in their nails so when they go to bite it, that they'll get disgusted and not want to do it. Whatever you have to do to make that habit that you want to change not be tasteful anymore, not be good anymore, not be something you desire anymore, do it so that you can go about your life in a better manner if this is something you really want to change. We're talking about habits. We're not talking about things you want to do that you don't do and learning traits and learning skills. That's a different session. We're talking about something that you do that you don't want to do anymore, whatever it is. If you know you drive bad and you want to drive better, so there are monitoring apps that will monitor. I know State Farm puts one out, but you can monitor the way you drive, and it tells you exactly where you need to improve in terms of cornering, braking, acceleration, and anything you want. If you want to have somebody analyze you without you having to do it, it'll tell you where you need to improve, and you can improve your driving. You have to be conscious of wanting to improve your driving. What are the benefits? Staying alive, getting better gas mileage. So many things would be beneficial to you if you could make some of these changes in your life that you really don't want to keep anymore. Driving is just an example. There are a lot of habits that took years to form, and it's going to take time to change them, break them. But if you want to, you can. So start with positive affirmations. I really believe this takes place in a lot of our sessions where they're useful to have these affirmations so that you can put in your brain that you're going to change whatever it is you want to change. So, for example, for driving, your affirmation is, I am driving better. For people, I am treating people better. It's the present tense of doing something. I am eating better. I am eating less sweets. I am eating only one bite of sweets. Whatever it is that you want to tell your brain, you put it in an affirmation. Whatever it is you're trying to break, you tell it that you're doing the thing you're trying to correct and the thing that's going to be the positive result of what you're trying to correct. And you put it on your little 4x5 card, put it on your refrigerator, put it on your mirror. They might say, Ivan, is this really necessary? I mean, do I really have to do this? Well, the question is, do you want to break your habit? If nothing you've done up to now worked, if you haven't been able to correct it so far, then look at ways that you can correct it. Look at ways that you can do things that actually make a difference. So putting affirmations on your refrigerator and your mirror are going to put in your mind on a daily basis these changes that you want to make. And changes can be important. If you have a bad habit at work, if you're doing something that upsets the boss and you keep making mistakes at work, whatever it is, that's an important habit to change. But you've got to tell yourself that you're making that change. You have to make a conscious effort to do it. If you're late to work, if you're late to a date, if you're late going out with your spouse, if you want to change, you have to make a conscious effort to change, or nothing's going to change. So positive affirmations are very important. Now, in breaking habits, these are things that you've had for a long time, as we said. So once you identify what the benefits are, you have that down, then you can tell yourself every night when you go to sleep, it should be in your, we talked about gratitude, in your thoughts of gratitude at night before you go to sleep, and I'm a firm believer in that, and saying what you're thankful for. If you believe in prayers, include it in your prayers. If you don't believe in prayers, just say it as gratitude. But tell whoever, tell the universe what it is you're grateful for. And in that moment, tell yourself that you're making that change, that you are physically and consciously making that change. You have it written down, you've got your affirmations out there, you're reading it every day, and you're making that change. 21 days to make the new thing a habit. 21 days of doing the good thing, the thing that's going to change your habit, the thing that's going to make a change in your life, the thing that's going to improve your life, improve your job, improve your relationships. That's what you have to do 21 days in a row. If you can do it, you can change your life. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. I recognize that something you've done over and over again for a long time, it's just so hard to give it up. But if you want to give it up, if you're willing to, and you follow these rules that we set down, the things that you need to do, you can do it. You can make that change and break that habit. And instead, substitute positive habits. Substitute the opposite, the thing that you're trying to do better. You can get that done. The way you treat people, if you have a habit of being rude with people, if you have a habit of not being nice, practice mindfulness. Practice telling everyone you talk to on the phone, when you call somebody up and they answer, and you say, "Hi, this is so-and-so, how are you today?" Ask them how they are. I tell customer service agents all the time, when they answer from airlines, hotels, whatever it is, say, "How is your day going? How are you today?" And they always appreciate it. They tell me that no one's ever asked them that day, and I'm the first one, and they thank me for it. Change what you're doing, and it brings about a change in the thing you're trying to break as far as a bad habit. If you're trying to have better personal relationships with people, ask people how they're doing, how they are. Tell people to have a nice day when you're finished. And just try to be a nicer person. Try to be an empathetic person. Try to be a person who cares about other people if you're trying to change the way you interact with people. If you never cared about anyone before, time to start. Time to care about what someone says. If they're a friend of yours and they're going through something and you want to be a better person and how to listen to them, practice listening. Practice actually listening and caring and responding back to something they said, so they acknowledge that you heard them, that you can make a comment about what they just said. So yes, if it's your relationships with people, it'll take a lot of work, but you can do this. The mind is an amazing instrument. It can make any kind of a change that you're willing to do if you do it long enough, if you try hard enough, and you make it a point to care. I hope this helps give some idea of how you can break a bad habit and substitute it for good habits using mindfulness, positive thinking, positive affirmations, telling yourself at night what you're thankful for, very important, and allowing your mind to make 21 days in a row of that new habit, that new thing you're trying to do, making that a reality in your life. I hope that you do, and I hope you wake up every morning with a smile, because that's the way to start off your day. Find something to smile about. Until next time.